Thank you for this honor. Chancellor Dr. Trevor Manuel, Vice Chancellor Dr. Prince Charming, members of the CPUT Council, members of the executive management of CPUT, deans of faculties, CPUT academic and administrative staff, family and friends, hello. And congratulations to you, the Faculty of Informatics and Design, class of 2013. Woohoo! It might be traditional, even appropriate, to start a graduation ceremony speech with the following opening words. When I was preparing to go into space, when I left the White House, when I sold my 10 billion rand company, when I won the Nobel Peace Prize, when I summited Everest. Well, I haven't reached any of those milestones yet, simply because I'm a work in progress. That gives me a lot less chapters so far and a lot more pages to fill, but it doesn't compromise the quality of the content, because life is actually made up of a collection of moments that help us shape our own unique narrative. Some moments are inspiring and rewarding. They stir us and make us shine. Some are heartbreaking and difficult. They insist we dig deeper and give us hope just when we want to give up. Some are well-timed and miraculous. They help nudge us in the right direction. Others just say, "Don't worry, be happy." But each one defines a chapter in our story called life, reminding us who we are and how we will be remembered. I come from a privileged background. This means I've had exposure to opportunity and freedom in my life. I've had a private school education and a parallel extracurricular education in the performing arts. I've acquired a professional degree and other credentials, experimented in multiple disciplines, performed on stage, started my own organizations, traveled the world, worked in different countries, and conversed in foreign languages. Yet I have learned the most from casually sitting around our family dinner table, attending the most priceless masterclass on life. This is where I first met politicians and ambassadors, business leaders and celebrities, tennis pros and musicians, fighter pilots and artists, rabbis and teachers, entrepreneurs, activists, and philanthropists. It's where I first got exposed to different races, religions, nationalities, and perspectives. It's where I built my general knowledge, molded my ideals, and nurtured my ideas. It's where I found my voice and spoke my mind. This is where I honed the art of conversation, debate, and storytelling, where I learned to question and then to listen. It planted the seeds of my ambition and opened my eyes to a world much bigger than I knew. It stretched my imagination. This was the first platform that gave me the quintessential skills that prepared me for growing up. This is where I learned by osmosis some of life's most valuable lessons from the originals themselves. Now, I know this was a rare privilege, but at the time I thought everyone shared the same experience and had the same set of values. One could also take for granted that with such exposure to these real-life heroes at my disposal, I'd become infatuated. Yet my greatest hero remains my dad, the principal conductor at center stage and the most exemplary role model my brothers and I could hope to have. A son of Lithuanian Jewish immigrants, my dad came from very humble beginnings, putting himself through law school at night while he worked as a legal clerk during the day. His budding talent earned him recognition, and at the age of 21, he became the firm's youngest ever partner, an age when most of his peers were still looking for a job. He would rise to one day own that law firm and become a respected legal giant in South Africa. Some of you may not have been exposed to even one exemplary role model in your life so far, someone that inspires you and that you aspire to emulate. In fact, many of you may be here today in spite of the circumstances of your upbringing. This is where I got lucky. Had I not had the fortune of being born into this family at that time, I may have led a very different life. As a first-generation beneficiary, I recognize that many of you are first-time graduates, like my father. So you are the very people who have the power to change the trajectory of your own futures, and by extension, provide opportunities for your siblings, and one day for your own children to go to university, graduate, and pay it forward. You have the power to become the role models you wished you had. My brothers and I learned by my father's example, and today I'd like to share some of his values with you to illustrate how they have become my compass in life, in the hope that they will touch your lives too. We observed a man of principle and conviction, so we behaved with integrity. We saw leadership at work and ideals in action, so we understood contribution as our family birthright. We experienced stability, so we became risk-takers and looked fear squarely in the eye. We were the beneficiaries of sacrifice and generosity, so we recognized opportunity as our currency. We saw passion, discipline, and determination, so we understood work ethic. We were aware of accomplishment, so we nurtured our potential. We perceived strength of character and self-respect, so we developed self-confidence. We witnessed decency, humility, and acts of kindness, so we developed our own moral conscience. We experienced wisdom and reason, so we learned to practice open-mindedness. We witnessed lifelong friendships, so we valued the power of loyalty. We sensed vulnerability and soul-searching courage, so we appreciated the meaning of family. We felt unconditional love and devotion, so we experienced peace of mind. We were always in the presence of greatness, so we raised our standard. My dad lives in us every second, not only because we now have to channel him from within, but because we hope to embody his inspiring example by continuing to give to the world as he so selflessly did throughout his lifetime. Last year, my family and I came together to develop something special in his name, which would come to symbolize great personal meaning for us. With a common vision and united purpose, we decided to create our own family platform because we already had the winning formula, an intimate gathering space for interactive and intergenerational conversations around our family dinner table, where hand-picked role models and respected elders would be invited to share and impart their values and wisdom through storytelling, life lessons, and personal anecdotes once again. The I.S. Levy Legacy Talks are now our priceless heirloom. Not only do they acknowledge, celebrate, and honor a man who is our Mandela, but they are a living, breathing legacy that captures, shares, and perpetuates the spirit of our own privileged experience with my dad at the helm, inspiring a new generation to lead by example. You are graduating at a time when leaders in national government keep reinforcing the growing statistics of high youth unemployment and the current economy's inability to absorb every new graduate. While across the ocean, Harvard undergrads believe that inventing a job is better than finding one. We can't rely solely on government to solve all of South Africa's problems. So what if you could be part of the solution? What if you could challenge government by participating in an inspiring nation-building initiative that ignites a startup student nation? What if academic institutions birthed a new context that supports an innovative mindset and starts to produce a generation of both graduates and entrepreneurs? A parallel university experience that encourages the collective talent and energy of the student public to become active agents of change, who solve real-world problems from campus and launch a startup reality beyond it. Driving an innovation economy that actually does create jobs, and an innovation culture that literally does make South Africa work better. You are this new generation. You're creative and resourceful, passionate and hungry, unjaded and fearless. You're tech-savvy multitaskers who insist youth is not wasted on the young and want to be taken seriously because you understand that the forces influencing your futures are within your control. You believe in win-win and in speaking on behalf of an influential young generation, one that declares optimism and hope, one that wants to use your life for something bigger than yourself. You are the new newsmakers, and you're going to be an extremely positive investment for and beyond South Africa. As future presidents, as tech visionaries, as curers of disease and environmental activists, as edupreneurs and Nobel laureates. Yes, you are still inexperienced and we don't yet know your names, but we'd like South Africa and the world to hear about you soon, not just for the size of your bank accounts, but for the measure of your contribution to humanity. Because we need to put more South African role models on the map. We need more Madibas and Tutus, more Mark Shuttleworths and Sia Zuzas, more J.R.R. Tolkiens and Nadine Gordimers, more Jonathan Jansens and Taddy Bletchers, more Christian Barnards and Philip Tobiases, more Raymond Ackermans and Alan Grays, more Francois Pinaars and Lewis Hughes. In this moment, more than ever before, you have the responsibility and the credentials to help change the world's perception of Africa as a war-torn, corrupt, diseased, uneducated, and poor continent into a place of innovation, opportunity, and contribution. And maybe, just maybe, you'll trigger a news revolution that will change the headlines and create a South Africa and an Africa the whole world is inspired by. So, architects, town planners, interior designers, where are you? Will you help change? Will you help shape a new reality and create social impact? Multimedia and 3D designers, are you out there too? Will you reimagine the game and challenge business as usual? IT designers, will you align profit with purpose to spread opportunity? Industrial designers, will you create innovative ideas that will change behaviors and systems and influence new ways of thinking? Fashion, surface, jewelry, and graphic designers, will you demystify entitlement and instead use your imaginations to show commitment? Educators, I'm not leaving you out. Will you help raise our expectations of ourselves and South Africa? Family and friends, yes, you too. Will you engage as active citizens and ask, what am I going to do about it? Class of 2013, what will your legacy be? will you become the role models you've always wanted. The hallmark of real success is a good name. That's really all you have at the end of the day. That's how you'll be remembered. And your children, above all else, will be the judge of this. Inspire them to live up to it. I'll be watching the headlines. Good luck, and thank you.